Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosalia, and this week I'm going to be going over and showing you guys what I usually read in a week. So I have lots of books to get through. I have a bingo reading challenge that I'm doing with I guess a friend group, and then I'm also reading a book club pick. I'm reading some nonfiction, some classics, so you're gonna get to see a little mix of everything. I usually don't read this many books in a week, but here we are. So this is just gonna be basically a reading vlog, and I hope you guys enjoy. Hello. Hopefully it's not too dark, but I just wanted to update you all with my reading. I'm currently in the middle of these books over here. So this past week, I have been reading Wuthering Heights to get ready for the movie. I'm only on chapter 6, and I'm really enjoying this so far. We're following this family. It actually takes place in 2 different time periods. So I'm at the time period where we go back to learn more about Heathcliff and Catherine and their dynamic. I'm really liking it so far. I definitely don't like any of the characters, but I think that's the point. They're very unlikable characters, and we're following them on this journey through this obsessive love story, essentially, and I can't wait to see how it goes. Definitely reads like a gothic Victorian novel, and I'm really enjoying that. Today I went to a silent book club. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but basically we meet up once a month and we read for about an hour, and then of course we have some time to chat. But during the time that we read, we all just read our separate books. There's no specific assigned book, which is really nice because I definitely need to get through the books that I already own. So during that time today, I picked up Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones, and this is like a novella, so it's pretty short. I think I'm like 30 pages from the ending. Basically this follows a 12-year-old Native American boy who starts to see his father in a feather dancer, a traditional outfit that they would wear during like traditional Native American ceremonies. And but the problem is his dad died a couple years ago, and this boy is determined to get his father back. One thing leads to another. He starts to see his father more and more, and eventually the supernatural starts intersecting with reality, and we don't really know what's real, what's not, and everything kind of takes a turn for the worse. So this is a horror, so so far I'm really enjoying it. The things I picked up from Stephen Graham Jones, surprisingly, I haven't quite melded with, but this one I do enjoy his short stories a lot more, and I think this one is going to be a bit of a winner for me eventually. So this is Mapping the Interior.
Tea is so beautiful.
Hi, it's the next day and I just had my breakfast and coffee, but I just wanted to come to you guys to give a quick review of Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. I just finished this last night and I really liked it. I did enjoy it. It wasn't quite a 5-star per se, but it was a really well-written novella. That's what it is, because it's really short. So as I said in an earlier video, it does follow a 12-year-old boy who starts to see his father even though he passed away, and he sees him in this feather dancer suit, which is a customary traditional outfit that Native American people would wear during different ceremonies. His father was never a feather dancer in his real life. So that brings me to my next point, how this novel really ties memory and how we perceive somebody and something based on time passing by, based on what other people tell us about a specific person. And it's actually interesting because even in modern research, we are starting to see how our brain alters memory, even if our brains are healthy. And that is somewhat terrifying to me. And I think that really works well in a horror novel or a novella. and I think that's what it does really well. But I definitely see how the supernatural elements are blending with reality here, and we start to question what is real and what is more of those supernatural elements. I really enjoyed that. However, I did some places near the ending, it was a little bit confusing to track, because I think that's the point though. I think that's what the author is trying to make you feel, based on even tying with our memories. We don't know what is real and what is not. So I think that was done really well. It just delves into identity and lost potential of, let's say, loved ones. So how his father was a feather dancer in his afterlife, but in reality, he wasn't. I think the only thing is definitely the writing style. I don't really meld well with his writing style in particular, even though there are some quotes that I find brilliantly done well, but generally I just don't really enjoy it. However, oh yeah, and also I didn't really like the ending. I think it fell a little bit flat for me. I was kind of like left wanting more, and that's why I couldn't give it a full 5 stars. But overall, I think this was done very well, and I would recommend it. All right, and then today I do have to start on my book club pick, which is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This was picked by my in-person book club. I have to read this by the end of the month. So hopefully I can get through this, but also I just have an appointment later today, and I think I'm gonna just go ahead and start on this, even though I'm in the middle of like three other books. So this is what I'm gonna be starting today. Hey, so I just got the audiobook for When the Moon Hatched. I thought it would be smart to also get the audiobook for it, since I do go on my walks and tend to listen to an audiobook, so I don't have anything right now. So I thought that would be the perfect book to listen to while I'm out. Also, I am really enjoying it, even though I'm only like 2% in right now, but I really like the magic system. There's a whole glossary in the front, which I love. Right now we're just getting introduced to the world and the different dragons within that world. So yeah, that's all I have for you right now, and talk to you guys later. Here's Hades. I just wanted to show my setup really quickly. I'm currently reading Wuthering Heights. I switched books, so yeah, I got to page 40 in When the Moon Hatched, and I'm continuing on with Wuthering Heights for tonight. I guess the group that I'm part of is doing a book challenge for the month of January, where we basically play a bingo board, and there's 2 teams, and basically each team has to read as many pages as they can. So the team that wins essentially, you know, is basically has the most pages read. So for the bingo board, we're missing a couple of letters. We're missing R, V, Z, and E. So I'm gonna look at my unread shelves and see if I have any. I already see some books on there that start with the letter, so I'm just gonna go over them really fast. All right, I set my phone up, but I already see, so for the letter E, I see Exquisite Corpse by Poppy Z. Bright. I don't know too much about this. I just know it's a cannibalism story and it's horror, and that, of course, always intrigues me. So there's this as well, and it's also shorter, so that might be pretty good. Let me see, it has, yeah, because the books had to be at least 200 pages to count towards the bingo board. So this is an option. We have Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone for the letter E by Benjamin Stevenson. This is a thriller. I haven't been really too intrigued to pick up a thriller lately. It might be an option. We'll see. Okay, well, I see on my shelf here Edgar Huntley, but I don't know if I want to read a classic for this challenge, because I usually read classics pretty slowly. So I think I'm going to hold off on this and just save it for my classic a month. So I'm going to put this back. But I see, where did I see it? Oh, I have this here. It's the Raven Master, so the letter R. And this is basically, this is really interesting because I went to England last year, but I didn't pick this up. I was gonna pick it up before I went to England, but it's about the ravens at the Tower of London and the yeoman warders who train them, keep them safe at the Tower of London. And I really want to read this. This is, I think it's kind of like a memoir, I think. So this is also an option as well. Ooh, okay, so I have the Redemption of Morgan Bright, but this is a little bit bigger, so I don't, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna pick this up just because it's the challenge and I want to read as much as possible. And I'm already in the middle of, like the books over here, that are pretty big. So I think I'm gonna hold off on this, but this is also another horror. I actually went to an author signing. I want to show you really fast. He was great, and he wrote a whole bunch for me, and he has his stamp, his signature. It was great. It was a horror author signing and reading, so he was able to read as well, and I thought it was great, so I picked this up, but definitely need to get this soon. Yeah, I don't think I have anything starting with the letter V. So these are my 3 options that I can pick from. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back because I'm not feeling a thriller. So with these 2 options, I think I might actually pick this up because it's a nonfiction, and I'm currently in the middle of a bunch of fantasy, and I want to be able to just listen to this maybe when I drive as I go to my appointments. I think I'm going to pick this one up. Yeah. The Raven Master. And the Christopher Skyfe, I think that's how you say it. He's the yeoman warder at the Tower of London. So I'm very excited to see his experiences and read his experiences. So yeah, let's just do this one. I am currently focusing on Raven Master since this is part of the reading challenge, and I want to just get that on the bingo board as soon as possible. But I'm actually really enjoying it. We're getting to learn a lot about the ravens at the Tower of London, the schedule of the yeoman warders that watch over the ravens at the Tower of London and do have other duties as well. It's just interesting to gain the perspective of this yeoman warder. He did several years in the army and then eventually ended up at the Tower of London to take care of the ravens. And we're getting a lot of historical context as well, how the ravens came to be. It became a Victorian myth, I believe, in the 1860s, where if the ravens left the tower, then it would all fall apart and the kingdom would be lost. So it's just very interesting lore and myth and history. Oh, there's one scene in this, or I guess one part of the book, that it's in the perspective of this yeoman warder, Christopher Skyfe, and he states, as you may know from your primary school, William the Conqueror basically made the Tower of London in 1066. I'm like, I did not know that. I did not grow up in England, so I didn't gain the context of English history or the UK history. So it was really funny to see it. He's very witty as well, and he has a lot of witty, very British dry humor, and I really am enjoying it. So that's my update so far. Hello, it is Saturday. It is in the morning, and I did finish Raven Master. I really enjoy it. I really loved it. I am gonna put out a review soon on my Instagram, and you could check it out there. But I give 5 stars. It was great to learn about the ravens' histories, biology, even their literary and artistic footprint throughout history. It was super interesting to learn about. And also, of course, the yeoman warder who takes care of them and who has other duties at the Tower of London. I feel like I learned a lot, and I think you should pick it up, especially if you either want to visit England or want to learn more about the history of England, or even learn more about ravens. They're extremely interesting, and how much of an influence they have made on the literary scene, even Edgar Allan Poe, Charles Dickens. So yeah, I would recommend reading it to learn more about that if you're into that. But right now I am currently reading When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker. I'm on my Kindle, but I'm on chapter 21. So far, I'm liking it. The female main character sometimes gets on my nerves, but so far it's fast paced and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the fantasy that is involved. Some of the, oh, that's my cat Hades, if you heard him. Hi, Hades. Some of the, like, the fantasy elements and, like, the magic system, like, a day is a day, like DAE is a day, and then slumber is like nighttime, all throughout like an aurora cycle, and aurora cycle is a whole 24-hour day essentially. So I mean, the language is just different, but it means the same thing essentially, which is all right. But so far I'm liking it, and I'll update you guys later. Hello. It is currently actually Monday. I haven't updated you guys in a really long time. So I also picked up When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker. I'm about 270 pages in. So I've been reading this yesterday, today, and I started to enjoy it because I really was starting to like the magic system within this world. However, now it's leaning a bit more towards the romance, which at the moment I don't really enjoy it. I'm not really vibing with it, and it's come to this point where I'm actually debating DNFing this and like not finishing it. And the reason why is just because the main character, is, to me, extremely annoying and irritating, and I could see where she's coming from in a way, but it's to the point where it's like the writing style mixed with her constant comments. So it's like, okay, this man is trying everything in his power and she's just constantly berating him, and like it's just constantly, and so it's just getting on my nerves. So I'm seriously debating on calling it quits, but at the moment I'm just gonna keep going, hoping that it's gonna improve over time, because I do want to see what really happens. But there's some mystery going on right now, and I'm pretty sure what's gonna happen, but I want to see if I'm correct. So we'll see. We'll keep going on with this. It snowed yesterday, and that was really fun. I also went to the aquarium. Love the aquarium. Like I said before, I'm gonna have the Raven Master review up soon on my Instagram. And yeah, I just wanted to close this vlog up because it's the end of the week. And total page count for the week. So I summed up everything that I read this week, and it came out to 601 pages. And this is about like a realistic reading week for me. I usually don't read as many books, so this week I've been touching on like Wuthering Heights, Sword Heart, Oathbringer a little bit, When the Moon Hatched, Raven Master, and Mapping the Interior. So the two books that I finished this week was Mapping the Interior and The Raven Master. That is a reading week for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.